The narcissistic gaze, portal to colonization, how the eyes became entrapment. You thought it was love at first sight, but what you felt was far older, far more dangerous. The narcissist gaze isn't just attention, it's a spotlight, it's a hook, a portal. It bypasses cognition and speaks directly to your nervous system. What looks like attraction is actually entrainment. The bidirectional syncing of emotional states, breath, rhythm, affect. Alan Shore's work on right brain affect regulation shows how early relationships are built through the gaze. The narcissist uses this developmental window as a weapon. Their gaze stirs into your earliest desire to be seen. And when you're seen totally, profoundly, you feel chosen. But it's not you they're seeing, it's their fantasy, their need, their projection. You begin to mirror it back. Their needs become yours, their emotions override your instincts, and the deeper you stare back, the more you disappear. This is how colonization begins. Not through domination, but through attunement. Not through control, but through connection. And by the time you notice the trance, the spell has already rewritten yourself. The narcissist pre-love bombing scan. Spotting is when the narcissist detects a potential source, someone they can use to gain from one or more of the four S's: sex, supply, safety, and services. It is not empathy they're scanning for, but leverage, looks, influence, social proof, or pliability. Auditioning follows subtle behaviors to test whether you can be manipulated or praised into compliance or emotionally triggered for control. The youth of cold empathy. Why they know what you feel but don't care. The narcissist reads you better than anyone ever has, but it's not love, it's scanning. Cold empathy is reflexive and cognitive. It knows what you feel but doesn't feel it with you. It is empathy without warmth, understanding without care. It is used to mirror you, to bait you, to test you, often disguised as jest, teasing, or sudden rejection. It leaves you questioning your worth. One of their earliest tactics is abandonment testing, subtle ways to see if you'll chase them, if you'll collapse into shame, if you'll prove you're controllable. You don't realize the game at first. You think they're hurt or shy or complex, but no, they're watching, calculating, adjusting their mask. And the more you open up, the colder they get because vulnerability, yours or theirs, is the ultimate threat. The oceanic feeling. Why it felt so spiritual and why it hurts so much to lose. It wasn't just chemistry, it was transcendence. The early stages of narcissistic relationships often feel spiritual, a deep euphoric connection that feels like home. This is the oceanic feeling, the merging of self and other, often rooted in primary narcissism. It activates biological imprinting. You feel inflated, seen, known. But what you're merging with isn't them, it's their false self, their fantasy. And when the wave recedes, you leave and are left distorted. Not because you lost them, because you lost a version of you that only existed in their eyes. The coercive snapshot. How the narcissist turns you into an internal object. It wasn't you they loved, it was your image. Early in the relationship, the narcissist takes a snapshot, a fixed internal image of you based on your ideal traits. They emotionally invest in this snapshot, not the real you. All future interactions aim to coerce you into behaving like this idealized internal object. When you deviate, they feel betrayed. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you've broken the fantasy. This is the coercive snapshot. And while they control the image, they also control the script. You are no longer allowed to be fluid, complex, human. You must play the role or face the rage. Mirrored psychic inversion. The theory that changes everything. How narcissists rewire your mind. This is the moment you stop being you and became them. Mirrored psychic inversion is not a metaphor. It's a psychic mechanism. When the narcissist pulls you into their internal world, you begin to lose your own. You adopt their inner conflicts, act out their discarded emotions, and carry their unmet needs. You become the external avatar of their internal theatre. You may notice yourself thinking thoughts that you never had, reacting to like someone else, judging yourself harshly through their image lens. That's not confusion, that's inversion. And it begins with a gaze, but ends in your ego structure. You split into their libidinal and anti libidinal projections. Your nurturing self is hijacked to mother their wounded child. Your rebellious self is punished to maintain control. You're trapped in their mind, and the exit is not obvious. But once you see the mirror, the false self, the fantasy, the reflection that never showed you, you begin to crack the trance. And healing begins not with freedom, but with reversal, undoing the inversion, reclaiming your image, returning to the self. False self, fictional mother. The fusion that controls a narcissist's inner world. The narcissist's identity is built on two forces: the false self and the fictional internalized mother. The false self is grandiose, untouchable, perfect. The internal mother is harsh, critical, unforgiving. This is why the narcissist flips so quickly from praise to contempt, seduction to rage, and this is what they pull you into. You're cast as the good enough mother, the one who redeems them from their internal torment. But the role is impossible because the real mother is never gone and the false self never lets you in. The shared fantasy, a relationship that was never real. You felt special, chosen, soul bounded, but it was a dream built for one. The shared fantasy is a psychological contract created by the narcissist to bind you into their world. You play the role of redeemer, healer, mirror, and as long as you comply, you're loved. But step out of character, show hurt, demand reciprocity, and the dream turns to a nightmare. The fantasy was never mutual, it was a stage, and when the performance ends, the narcissist doesn't grieve, they cast again.